Hi everybody, this is Agnes from Sediment, and today, by a popular demand, we are going to talk about Carmenere grape variety. Loved by many, hated by many, mistakenly identified and bottled under different name, Carmenere has emerged as a signature grape of Chile. Carmenere is another progeny of Cabernet Franc and is an old grape variety most probably originated in the Bordeaux, France. This makes it half-sibling of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon. And even though it is not the most planted red grape variety at its principal home, Chile, it has gained a following amongst wine lovers. So today, let's look closer at this unique grape. I find Carmenere to be very interesting grape when it comes to its expression of flavors and structural elements. If harvested too early, it can show a lot of green characteristics such as capsicum, roasted bell pepper, and jalapeno, most commonly referred as pyrazines. But if kept on the wine long enough, those pyrazines might still be noticeable, but now they will be mixed in black and blue fruit flavors, as well as spicy notes of leather, coffee, and chocolate. The downside of the longer hang time on the wine is that it might lose its refreshing acidity. And sometimes when harvested late, it can even taste jammy or cooked. Carmenere tends to develop high levels of alcohol and elevated levels of soft, ripe tannins. It also gravitates towards fuller body and is always deeply colored wine. When young, Carmenere typically displays more violet or blue notes, with age becoming more ruby. In Bordeaux, and in fact many other winemaking regions, Carmenere typically plays a role of a minor blending partner, adding color, body, richness, and savory spiciness to the blend. Even in Chile, its current principal home, it is often blended with other grapes. And it is also important to remember that even though the label states Carmenere, it is allowed to add up to 15% of any other grape varieties, possibly to hide expressive pyrazine characteristics or add juiciness and lightness to it. Its most common blending partner in Chile is Merlot. Carmenere doesn't mind oak treatment. In fact, it used to be aged in new oak quite a lot, adding characters such as vanilla, toast, and nuttiness. However, nowadays, use of oak is becoming less frequent. Neutral or old oak is often used instead, resulting in flavors that show better integration and expression of fresh fruit characters. Carmenere ripens late, in general almost whole month later than Merlot. That means it requires a warm climate to fully ripen. Its historical home is Bordeaux, France. But after phylloxera hit the Europe in 19th century, its plantings were never re-established. Some say it is because of its unreliable yields and fruit set, and some point out its difficulty to be grafted. Nowadays, there is not a lot Carmenere planted in Bordeaux. Old wines can be found at Chateau Clerc-Mignon in Pauillac, but overall, Carmenere plantings are still very limited there. Some Carmenere can also be found in Italy, although very marginal. Today, Carmenere truly shines in Chile. It is funny, but at first, a lot of Carmenere wines were actually identified in Chile as Merlot, and as such they were bottled and labeled. Only later, with the help of DNA testing, these grapes were recognized as Carmenere. And now the highest number of hectares planted with Carmenere is in Chile, only to be followed by China. In Chile, it is most planted in areas that have enough warmth and sunshine for this late ripening grape, such as Cachapoal and Calchagua. However, it is also important to note that many of the old wine Carmenere planted in Chile are actually field blends, meaning mixed grape plantings. Because of its spicy character, Carmenere is perfect for all things grilled and barbecued dishes. Meats with sticky and sweet sauces will do great with Carmenere, especially those rich and jammy styles aged in oak barrels. But I also do think it would go well with flavorsome and reduced stews made from meats and veggies. For those who prefer vegetarian options for their Carmenere wines, aged salty cheeses and grilled meaty mushrooms with sticky sauces would also do well. From my local cuisine, stuffed bell peppers would play nicely with the common flavors of Carmenere wines. Many producers are worth mentioning, such as La Postele, Santa Carolina, Casa Silva, De Martino, and Concha y Toro. Errázuriz Cai has received very high scores from many wine professionals and magazines and might as well be one of the most expensive Carmenere wines in Chile. More affordable yet still great examples are made by producers such as Montes Alfa and Cono Sur. If you like this video, you might as well like my other video on the signature grape of Argentina, Malbec. Click here.